hear me. My tech issues have returned. And so I am kind of flying blind again with my music. So um, if you could hear me, if you could give me a little bit of a shout out, thumbs up, that would be really great. I don't know what is wrong with my sound. So if you could give me a shout out to let me know if you're hearing me, I hope that you are. So hello, guys. Let me see. Oh no, I don't see a thumb. Oh, okay. Kathy Gabby is hearing me. So I don't know what is going on with my sound. It just yesterday it worked fine, and today it's back out again. So but anyways. Welcome everyone. I am thank you, Cookies and Cream. I appreciate it letting me know that you can hear me. Welcome. Hope you guys are having a fantastic day. Hope you've had a great week. Thank you guys so much. I don't know what's wrong with my headset. I just bought a new one and I don't know why it's giving me problems again. So I'm assuming it's something with the mic, with the connection with the mic, and that my headset is not working on the mic or something. So I just don't know what's going on. But anyways, aside from tech issues, welcome to Facts and Two Cents. As you know, this is a channel that's supposed to Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby Lily, Mama Doria, Pula, Guy, the chickens, all of us here at Sussex Squad. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This has been a quiet week for our faves, I think. Not much is happening. Our faves are under a tree somewhere in Montecito, minding their business as usual, and the world is talking about them as usual. And so it's like, whatever. They are famous and the world can't get enough of them, it seems. We at the squad are more than happy to let our faves rest and relax, but the rest of the world are like, nah, we want to know what's happening. We want to pry into their lives. So, the rest of the world is doing what they're doing. But anyways, before we get into anything, let's just say hi to all of my friends who are here in the chat, and 123 of our faves who are not in the chat at the moment. So, hey, Lydia, our awesome moderator. First one joining us earlier today, and Verda and Nalo Thandu. And I got Verda. I got Verda twice. Hi, Verda. Let's see. Karen M, our awesome moderator, is here. Hi, Karen. Verda, I keep wanting to click on you again. And our awesome other moderator is here. Church Nelly is here. It's like Fabulous Friday. Oh, good morning, Facts and Two Cents and all the squaddies from South Carolina. Shout out to all our South Carolina squaddies. Let's see. Who else? Oh, Kanitha is here. Hi, Kanitha. How are you? And let's see who else. Oh, Ray Raquel. Hello. Oh, there we go. Hey, Ray Raquel. How are you doing? Happy you're here. And let's see who else is in here. This core group have been chatting a lot. Janet is here, and Kathy Gavy is here, and Joyce is here. Let's see. Oh, Mrs. S is here. Hi, Mrs. S. Good morning. She's like, good morning, family. Well, good morning, fam. How are you? And Dolores Williams and Florence. Hi, Florence Shifambi. I hope I just said your last name correctly and I didn't just butcher it. I don't want to butcher your name. So hello. And Joan is here. Hi, Joan Commonwealther is here. And awesome moderator. Other moderator, Cookies and Cream, is here as well. And Joan Garcia is here. Hi, Joan. And Louise is here. And Alyssa is here. As I do, Dolores is here. And Dolores and Marcel. And Tanya is here. Hi, Tanya Smithers. How are you? And Annie Ballard is here. And Gloria C is here. And all the rest I'm going to catch as we go. But hi, guys. Welcome. Happy Friday. Hope you are happy as I am that it's Friday. And, whatever we do on weekends. One of my favorite things is to go take a whole day off and go do photography. That is like my thing to get away from life, is just go off and create in the park or wherever I choose to go. In New York. But hello, hello, hello. I am so happy you're here. And again, our faves are, doing whatever they're doing under a tree. Oh, hi, Sistrin. How are you? And she's saying hello to the whole squad. So this is for you, Sistrin. I'm just passing it along for you. But one of the things that, Shutter Island, of course, have been going on and on and on about the book, and supposing all the things, and of course everything they think that's in the book is negative, because if you speak the truth about anybody there, you're trashing them, and of course you're destroying the royal family and you're destroying the queen, and it's just never ending. I'm like, you people, is there like any happiness in your country? I mean, is there grass in your country? Like, get out of your office or get away and go touch grass or something. It's just like, I have never come across a more, and I'm not saying this for all of the UK, I'm talking specifically again about those in the British press and the crazies, royalists who show up on social media. And it's like, please, whatever you do, find some happiness in your life. Please, and or if the least you could do is find people you actually love and enjoy and talk about those people and tweet about those people, or whichever social media platform you're on. Focus on the people that you love. Why on earth you spend your entire time, anytime I go, because my one that I follow anything royal on is on Twitter. Anytime I go there and I could run across any British, some Americans as well, don't get me wrong, and Australians, it's like, people, find something in your life to be joyful about. It is so depressing coming across these tweets. It's like, oh my goodness. And, I know a lot of them, and I'm assuming a lot of them are bots, and they are, bought to whenever they see Meghan or Harry in anything on Twitter especially, is to obviously come up with something negative. Whomever it is that bought them and send them out is with something negative. And it's just, I'm like, yoy, people, find something to be happy about. It's just, and then you think about the British press, it's kind of like, goodness, grievances. And one of the things that I heard, and people are like, well, I'm sure Prince Charles didn't do that. But the guy who plays Prince Charles on this season 5 of The Crown, he said that he wanted to resign from, and if I had thought about it, I would have brought it in, but I only just now thought about it. He said he wanted to resign. I guess he's like an ambassador for one of Prince Charles's charities. And he wanted to resign because he took the role of Prince Charles in The Crown. And he knew that, they'll be delving into some very uncomfortable and embarrassing situations like Tampon Gate. And so he offered to resign from this charity, Prince Charles's charity. And I think he sent them a letter or something, he said. And Prince Charles said, no, I understand you're an actor. You do you. And he wouldn't accept this reservation. So there are some in the press who are saying, oh, no, I'm sure Prince Charles, they're questioning whether he is truthful or not. And I'm like, well, Prince Charles is right there. If he's lying, the palace could just say, no, that's not the truth, And so what reporters are now caught in this conundrum, I think, of, you're angry and pretending to be outraged about something that Prince Charles is probably not even all that outraged about. Or, at least those unnamed royal sources are like, oh no, the palace is there, on edge and all of this stuff. And it's like, if this guy, wanted to resign from Prince Charles's charity, and Prince Charles says, no, you're an actor, you do your thing, then Prince Charles is probably not all that upset. Why they're not all that upset? Because no matter what is in The Crown, no matter what is there, they are actually kind to Prince Charles, because the facts of what really goes on in the royal family, were they to put that in there, it would really be bad. They've actually been kind and they humanize them a lot, you know, and so they know it could be a lot worse. And so I don't believe that they are as upset as people, or at least the reporters who are just basically, pretending that fake outrage thing. I don't think they're all that upset as the reporters are claiming that they are, because all that outrage is for is that for people to buy their, whether it's their magazine or their articles, or click on their online articles. You create fake outrage. Why? Because you want people to come and read your nonsense, and that's what they're doing. And so one of the things, as we know, another thing that they're claiming, all this outrage. Oh my gosh, he's going to destroy the royal family. He's going to be destroying his father. There's not going to be an olive branch anymore. Oh, this horrible olive branches. There must be a million in these palaces. And oh, it's going to be a final nail in the coffin. Again, those nails and coffins, just like, and we know it's Prince Harry's book that's coming out. And they have been falling all over a cliff about this book, with nobody knowing anything about what's really in the book. And so they have convinced themselves, and they're crazy fanatics and people who are stupid enough to believe their nonsense, that Harry's book is there to destroy the monarchy. Mind you, this is the same narrative they've been using for decades, even during Princess Diana's, when that whole big stuff with her and Prince Charles. It's always that, they're going to destroy the monarchy. It's the same stupid narrative. It's like, come up with something different, please. But they have now convinced themselves and their followers that Prince Harry's book is going to destroy the whole monarchy. And so Omid, always the voice of reason, wrote an article today. His normal article is usually on Wednesdays, but I think he was doing a seminar or something. And so I was like, where is Omid's article? And so he finally wrote the article today and dropped it. At least they dropped it today. And so it's very interesting because he brought up some things that are in Prince Harry's book, Spare. And so whomever his connections are kind of gave him an insight into what the book is going to be about. So we're just going to go through a little bit about them. If you're not on Twitter, you may not have seen the article. If you are, just bear with us. Because a lot of people are not on Twitter and they may not know that it's there. So I'm going to take away our subscribe button at the bottom. Or a little scrolly thing at the bottom. So if you're new here and you have not subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you can know when we drop a video. Like and share this video, and please join. We'll talk about that more in the end if I remember, because I tend to forget. So I'm going to take it away so we can read the entire article. And I'm also going to take away my banner because I think my brand thing there, because I think they're both in the way. So there we go. And so Omid wrote this article today. And so he gives us a little bit of a clue in and call out the crazy press for all the lies they've been saying about what is in the book. And again, Omid had got some inside source from whomever. Again, he's an author, so he knows, I'm sure he knows people who knows people who knows people. And so so this is what, along with, calling out the reporters and their lies, this is what he said. He's talked about, Harry, his choice of choosing Spare as the name, and, and the hypocrisy really of the royal family and the British press, who are behaving like somehow the word spare is a foreign concept. Meanwhile, they have been attacked. They have been calling Harry that from the time he was born, or before he was born. He was tagged with that name, and it's very derogatory. And we've talked about this ad nauseum here, including the last episode, about how brutal and how cruel and that it is abusive. It is literally child abuse. And so, Scobie talks about that in this article. He says, for the family business, Harry's position as the heir's spare, saw him take on the compulsory role of Royal Support Act at an early age. With no real defined job, the firm mostly needed one thing from him: to support his more important older brother. His older brother, Prince William. Its bizarre and somewhat cruel existence, the outcome of a system built on hereditary privilege. In many cases, it's also a curse. Prince Margaret's life as the Queen Spare was riddled with drug abuse and alcoholism, and Prince Andrew's life, well, the less said about that, the better. He goes on to say a spare also carries a purpose rarely acknowledged by any royal or palace official: the resident scapegoat, to protect the crown and higher ranking family members. Collateral damage when blame or distraction is needed. To those who have followed the royal beat closely enough, the coincidental timing of certain revelations or stories about Harry have already highlighted this. It is interesting to see how Spare, which doesn't shy away from specific burden, describes these moments. And it goes on to talk about what the book is going to be about, what it's not, and then what the book is actually going to be about. And so it's going to be about coping with grief and the tragic loss of his parents, the struggles of accepting oneself, sibling rivalry. Ooh, I'm jumping to that one right away. And falling in love with a person your family doesn't accept are all part of the Duke's human story. It goes on to talk about elements of that's going to be in the book. It's also going to be about his being on the front lines of Afghanistan and his time in the military. Also is going to be an honest insight into his quest for purpose. Also going to be there, purpose in his life. And also going to be in there, it says a spokesperson for the book, which will be released 1 month after the Sussex's forthcoming docu-series drop. So we, at least according to Scobie, we know when the docu-series is coming out, adds to the intimate memoir, will also share the joys he's found in being a husband and a father. So that, according to Scobie, is some of what is going to be in the book. And I'm glad he pointed out, and he could have even gone further, with the role of the spare. And as he says in here, and which we talked about ad nauseum, especially the last episode, we talked about it as well, and about that role, that spare role, especially with the kids coming up as spare with Charlotte, Louis, George, and that whole group of kids coming up. We talked about that last episode, and many others, about the brutality of that role. And as Scobie was saying, it says in this article, he says a spare also carries a purpose that's rarely acknowledged by the palace officials, that they are the resident scapegoat to protect the crown and ranking family members collateral damage when blame and distraction is needed. And we've seen that hundreds of times with Harry alone, and with especially Harry and Meghan. And it is the thing that they don't like to talk about. It's always like, oh, no, they're just there to support William. They're just there to no, they're not there to just support William. They're there to take the fall for them. They're there to take the sword for when William or Charles or the Queen or whomever needs. And I talked about this. Even Prince Harry's relationship with the Queen, I've called that into question so many times, because it's always whenever I see reporting about, the Queen's special relationship with Harry or her Prince Andrew being her favorites, it's always those two that they attach those two. Because why? Those are the two that they will throw under a bus when they need distraction, when William and Charles need someone to fall on the sword for them. Those are the two. Yes, Prince Andrew has his issues. That's a whole other story. And so, but specifically in dealing with the spare role, this is what they do. This is the brutality, and this is the abuse I was talking about. Just in case for people who don't know, I'm preaching to the choir, because many of us here, we've seen it with our own, and we've seen it in real time. We've seen it in real time. And so this abuse has come from the press, And I'm happy Scobie had even mentioned about how derogatory. There's a link to the article that I'm going to put in the show notes at the end, so you can read the whole article. He talked about how both the royal family and the royal institution and the press would throw this at Harry since he was born, and how derogatory it was. And it's so interesting now. They're like, oh my gosh, it's like a new teaching that Harry's going to use the same word to throw it back at them. And so again, Scobie could have gone much further with this, but I'm glad he at least is calling out the hypocritical reporters in the British press who are acting like, oh, really? That word? Oh no, and even the royal family, because a lot of times, when you talk with when people, at least people I come across, especially Brits I come across on social media, when they talk about the role of Spare, it's always like, oh no, he's just there to support William and to be there for William and be support and whatever. None of them want to acknowledge the fact that it's abuse. None of them, and as Scobie was talking about, like, he was basically born to support William, quote unquote, support William, who was the more important of the two. Like, how do you even get to a point where you're telling a child, or even making a child think that, one, they're more important than their brother or sister, or two, telling a child that you are less important than your brother only because you were born second? And then you are the brother who is the second born. You're much more talented, much more, educated, much better in every way, shape, or form than the one who was just by accident of birth has been told that he is better and he is more important. Like, I don't even understand how you could even form that, to even let a child, two kids, even think those things. It is unbelievable to me. And the fact that you have a nation of people to subscribe to this without even considering the damage that does to a person, and then be all like, oh, I'm so shocked that they would throw this back at me. Oh, really? It's derogatory? I didn't know. Never mind, I've been doing it for 36 years. Well, 30, well, Harry now is 38, whatever. And they're still doing it. It is unbelievable to me. And so I am glad at least now we know, according to Scobie and whomever it is the sources are, that, and which is what we thought. We thought about, what exactly Harry would have in the book. I mean, he's not a person that, he's not a mean-spirited person. There are some parts of me, the petty parts of me, that feel like, Harry, go after them, take them down, rip this thing apart, rip it to threads, throw it in the fire and burn it, and whatever. Like, there are parts of me that feel like, just go scorch earth on these people. Harry and Meghan are not like that. They're just not petty like that. They're just not. And, in thinking in terms of, why he would want to do it, and, why he would want to write the book and all of those things, you think in terms of, and in terms of mental health and all of those things. So all of those are considerations about what he says. But, parts of the article, which I didn't want to bring in Scobie's whole article, that would be wrong. But he talks about, that there are going to be parts especially when he talks about sibling rivalry and all of that stuff, that, Scobie said, a source unnamed from the palace, they're afraid that reputations will be damaged because of it. And I'm like, well, if y'all didn't do nothing, if you didn't do anything to Harry and you treated him with respect and the kindness and just human dignity that you would give to someone that you respect, then you would have nothing to worry about then. The only time you worry about anything Harry has to put in his book is if you treated him as a spare. That's when you have something to worry about. Because as we saw, it's going to be raw, it's going to be unflinching, it's going to be honest. Harry is a truth teller, is one of those people. And one of the things is very clear with Harry and Meghan is that they want accountability. They want people to be accountable for what they've done to you, what they've done, especially to them, and what they're continuing to do. And so I am happy, at least we know, according to Scobie again, it's going to be about coping with his mom's, grief at losing his mom, as we know, but really grief at losing both his parents, because Prince Charles kind of really wasn't there even as a young kid. He really wasn't there. He was all about his work. And now as an adult, he's still not there. And and Prince Charles has always used Harry as a spare. He's always done it. He's thrown him under a bus and used him to get good publicity his whole life. So he literally has lost both his parents. He never had Prince Charles to begin with. And then he lost the one that actually loved him, And so that grief is all around. And then you find out you thought you had a brother, and then your brother do exactly what your dad do. He throws you under a bus and sell you out to the press, including leaking your private email to the very press that is damaging you and your wife. This is loss all around. Harry doesn't have a win in the royal family. So all these people are talking about, an olive branch, and he's going to come back into the royal family. To exactly what is he going to come to? Exactly. The only person that he, barely had a relationship or any sort of form of love was the Queen, and she's not there. She's gone, and Prince Philip is gone. So it's just a grief all around there. So literally, Harry has literally nothing to go back to. Why would he? There is nobody there that loves. These people are, it's like, why would he even want to go there? And so for me, it's grief all around. And, and a part of it is, and we knew he was going to talk about, his time in the military, where he, he grew the most. And the fact that this guy would rather be at war than to be in the luxury of, palaces in the UK should tell, that should have been a huge clue to people that Harry rather be where people, you'd rather be out in war than being there. That will give you a clue that Harry ain't going back. He'd rather go to Afghanistan than stay in the UK and be a prince. That is a big clue as to who he is, and the kind of life there. He didn't like it there. And I don't blame him. And so obviously he's going to talk about that, and also the quest to find himself, to find purpose in his life. And all those things that people like to bring up, like, oh, he did this and he went to Vegas and he he did that strip poker thing and whatever thing he was doing. And even that is like, look, in the privacy of your home or hotel room, whatever, there's a reasonable expectation of privacy. I never thought he did anything wrong. Whether you agree with him do whatever they do in private, whether he's stripping or not, he is in the privacy of a room. You expect privacy. And so I don't even understand why he was apologizing. It's like, and I understand he felt embarrassed, whatever. But the fact is, I don't even look at something like that. It's like, he didn't do anything wrong. He was in the privacy. He's a grown man in the privacy of a room that is a reasonable expectation of privacy, And so, and people like to, they throw like, oh, he was the Nazi. It's like, he grew up in a home of Nazis. They're all Nazi sympathizers. They are German. A lot of their family, and Prince Philip's sister was married to a Nazi. It's like, and a lot of their relatives were Nazi sympathizers, including the one that, who went off and married, the one that they always like, oh, Edward the Third, the Fourth, or whatever he was, who went and married Wallace Simpson. And yeah, he was also a Nazi sympathizer. That's where Harry comes from. So people really shocked that you'll have a teenager or someone barely out of their teens imitating what their family is about. That would be the least surprising thing. I wouldn't be surprised if someone grew up in a racist family in the US and, go off and do something racist It's the environment they grew up in. It's what those are conversation and things that people don't see. They see the pretty pictures when they go on engagements and stuff. They don't see what's going on behind the scenes. Why else would two barely out of their people teenage years feel comfortable enough to go off, both of them did it, go off and buy something, a Nazi uniform, and wear it out in public and feel like it's totally fine? It's like that's the environment they're from. So am I shocked that no, absolutely not. Neither am I shocked to see their pictures of Edward was teaching the Queen as a child the Nazi salute. It's the environment they're coming from. Is it right? No. But I'm not going to jump as like, oh my God. It's like, no, if you understand the history of who these people are, then you're like, okay. I understand where that comes from. And he's the only one who's, apologized and tried to change their life, or at least acknowledge, like, okay, this is not the right thing to be doing. I need to change, so, but anyways. And I also, obviously, he's going to talk about him being a dad and, the joys of being father and a husband. And I also love here, and I'm glad this is in there, and I hope it goes, Harry goes to great lengths to explain how he to fall in love with someone who your family does not accept. Because so many people have the narrative of, oh my gosh, but look at the big wedding. We loved her. Look at the big wedding she has. Prince Charles walked her down the aisle. And for them, that outward showing what the royal family is all about, letting the world think they're one thing. And as Meghan says, what you see is not exactly what is going on behind the scenes, And I'm glad and I hope Harry goes into great detail about the ways that they have not accepted Meghan. I mean, they did a little bit of it with Oprah. They did a little bit of he did a little bit of it with the Me You Can See. But I hope that he goes into even more details of what they did to Meghan and what that is. And one of the things that with the whole article is how relatable the book would be, because so many people have gone through situations. You fall in love or marry someone, your family don't like them, and there's always that issue, family sibling rivalry, and all of this stuff, and trying to find yourself and figure out who you are and all. It's it's so relatable to so many people. And so that's what, according to Omid, that's what the book is about. And so I am excited. I am so excited. And I'm glad, hopefully the publisher puts out, what the British press, they are experts at doing is muddying things up. And they muddied things to a point where it turns so many people off with a lot of things. And one of the things that was so I don't know, the devastating, but for them, for people who need it, is what they did to the Me You Can See. And so now when video clips are going around from the Me You Can See, so many people, and a lot of them, accounts from the UK, I think, are like, oh, wow, I've never seen this before. I've never seen this before. And that is because the British press muddy that up so much that people who really need this, people with mental health issues who really need this, but also because the British press, their mainstream media, their top selling media, the most popular is the Daily Mail, the Sun, and whatever. They did a great job of muddying up so much that people didn't watch it. And so they have literally just gone on, oh, it's about Prince Harry trashing the royal family, and missed out so much help that they could have gotten from the, like the Me You Can See. And so I hope, not giving away the book or anything like that, but I do hope that the publishers come and sort of, and this may be a way of starting to correct some of the lies, not some, really, they just lie. The British press, members of the British press, they just lie and lie. Rebecca English or Richard Eden, and I'm naming them, Richard Eden, Rebecca English, what is his name, Robert Jobson, all of these people, what is his name from The Mirror, Russell Myers, lies upon lies upon lies, Jeremy Vine, and all of them, just lies. And they feed that thing and they lie with such a straight face. And then when you've already groomed your audience to believe your lies, they just believe it, they just take it. And nobody challenges it. Nobody challenged the lie. They would just, instead of people for themselves going to listen for a simple thing like, oh, you have access to the podcast, it's free, just listen to it. They would instead take the lies from the tabloids who have twisted whatever Meghan says or Harry said, whatever, and they run with that. And it's really sad to see so many people just get bamboozled by a lying press. And again, it just came out recently. They do this poll every year where all the media outlets from the different countries, if you trust your media outlet, and you the British press, out of 37 nations, I think, out of 37, British were down. They were like 32. They were if you trust your press, they were one of the least trusted press in all of Europe. Again, they're usually at the bottom. I guess they improve to 32. It's like 32 out of 37. And it's deplorable. And I think Russell Myers, I talked about him before. It's scary how this guy lies. It is just like you look at him and you're like, oh my God. There is, he lies with such a straight face that I shudder to think the people in his life, what it must be like to be around this guy, because he just lies with such a straight face. It's unbelievable to watch. And then you have somebody like, Robert Jobson. It kind of depends on which country he's lying to, because it changes from whichever countries. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And so it's unreal. So again, my thing with this is just, I just hope that, that they, Penguin Random House, correct some of this narrative so that it's already a sellout anyway. But I'm glad that Scobie is putting this out, and maybe they'll give it to reputable reporters to really put out there what the book is all about, to counter the messiness of what comes out of the UK. It's really, really, really deplorable. Anyway, I'm just going to jump in the chat for a second and see what you guys think about it. I know I just went on there on a long tangent about this, but I just kind of want to hear what you guys are going to say. Let's see. Bonnie Mighty says that they don't treat Harry like someone with feelings to be William's scapegoat when he's pegging with roses. They don't treat Harry like someone with feelings to be scapegoat when Williams is pegging with roses. Okay, I kind of think I understand what you mean. Yeah. He is there whenever those like stories, whether it's about pegging or whether it's about Rose. And please don't ask me about, if this is your first time hearing about what it is, please don't ask me. Go look at, well, probably just leave it alone. You just don't want to know. Anyway, I would say about that. But yeah, whenever stories like this stuff come out, it's always the scapegoats. Now they use Meghan more of even more than Harry being the scapegoat. So yeah, it just. Melissa says, they say Harry is racist using Nazi costume, yet failed to mention no one in that family firm had fully owned up, acknowledged, and apologized for their role in colonization atrocities. You can say that again, Melissa. Very true. Very, very true. And then they're like acting shocked, like, oh my gosh, someone in the royal family had on a Nazi costume. Like, are you serious? Are you really serious? And that's the hypocrisy that it's just like, oh my goodness. Let's see. Joan Garcia says Meghan informed us that they would rather tell lies rather than tell the truth about Harry and Meghan. Very, very true. Meghan did say that in the Oprah Winfrey interview. She said that they would lie to protect the members, the higher ups, but would not tell the truth to protect her and Harry. Yep. Which we've seen over and over and over and over, whether it's lies from the palace or lies from them and the press. We've seen that numerous times. Karen M says there should be a law to leave children alone in the press. There really should be. There really, really, really should be. I think that's why also California has such a law about putting kids. And I know that celebrities, they really fought for that law. I know, what is it, Jennifer Garner, and I think Kristen somebody, her husband is the Armchair podcast guy. And I don't remember what her last name is, Kristen, and I know Jennifer Garner, and Halle Berry actually was also part of really advocating to protect kids and protect their identity and all of that stuff in California. But they really need that. They really need to do something. And again, those I'm not going to go into just how I feel about having those kids who are there in the press. And, they've already put them in those boxes, those spare boxes already, and started writing negative articles about those kids already. So yeah, there really, really needs to be a law. Hi, Kathy. Kathy says this is how they ended up with Boris. Lie with straight faces. Yeah, it is this. I mean, you saw we had that orange one in the White House. It's the same. They do the same thing. They lie and lie and lie, and they repeat the same lie over and over and over. What they do is to wear you down to the point where it's like, okay, whatever you just said is the truth. Is the reason why so many people will come and tell you, oh, Harry and Meghan left because they wanted privacy. That has become almost like people just accept that, when that is a blatant lie. It is made up by the members of the press. That is a blatant lie. So we're always correcting that. It was like, no, they never said that. That's a lie. And there's another one that they always say. What is the other one? Oh, how much Harry and Meghan, made their deal with Spotify is $100 million or whatever, and their deal with Netflix is $100 million, and their deal with Spotify is somewhere between like $20 or $30 million, whatever. The truth is, neither Spotify, Netflix, the Sussexes, none of these, or Penguin Random House, because now they're quoting like, oh, Harry got $20 million for his book and all of this. None of these corporations, Netflix, Spotify, Penguin Random House, anyone else who's Harry and Meghan have done business with or have any kind of relationship with, none of these people has ever said what the amount was. They have never put a dollar amount or pound amount on any of it. So nobody knows how much Harry and Meghan are making. Yet the British press have been spewing out these numbers over and over and over, and then you'd hear random people, oh yeah, they're making $100 million on it. And it's like, you have no idea what it is. You're only saying that because the British press have been spewing that out over and over and over. Now you've just accepted it as fact. And this is I always call it, this is the Trump thing, because this is the same way Trump was as well. The lie and lie and lie and lie, and eventually you will have idiots who would believe you. And this is exactly what this is. There's a reason why we got Trumpers now. This is the same nonsense they've been believing. It's amazing to me that these people literally think that this man is a billionaire. It's just like, yeah, people really think that. It's just like, oh my goodness. Unreal. And so, yeah, it's definitely Boris Johnson, Donald Trump syndrome. But they've been doing this stuff for years. I mean, long before we had, Boris Johnson was in office, they've been doing this stuff for years. They've just not had they're used to, and why they push back so hard on the squad a lot of times and try to malign us is because they're not used to getting pushback. They're not used to people challenging their lies. They're not used to people calling them out. People just sort of believed what they wrote, you know? And so now they're getting pushed. They've been getting pushback, obviously, but really, if it wasn't for the squad, not many people would. If you look at some royal reporters on US networks, they're never challenged. As long as you have a British accent and you get on NBC or ABC, especially, sometimes on CBS do the same thing, they never challenge them. They never challenge because they don't do any research. They're just, you have an English accent, you're white, you come on my show, then what you speak is gospel. And it's the laziness of American press that it's alarming to watch. And I think a lot of people, to call it out what it is, we're too lazy to go research. We're too lazy to fact check the things we read. And so it's like, if you're not going to fact check and call it out, well, I'll just lie to you forever, and I'll just make money lying. Because a lot of times they're lying is negative stuff against the Sussexes. And there's $1 billion market out there. If you lie against the Sussexes, you make money. So, and they know that. So why would they tell the truth? So anyway, moving on. Black Queen says, she's talking to Kathy Gabby, real bad stuff. Look how George and Louis acts. Charlotte is just sitting duck for constant abuse. They've already started doing that. They have already started. Donna Shekel says the press is about making dollars off negativity while destroying anyone in their path. Exactly. But again, yes, the press is what they are, but I always think of, look, the press can't do, we can always like, oh, why are people doing stuff, if it's in the media or a business or whatever, why are people charging this much amount of money for something? Why? And I'm like, well, they can charge it because people keep buying it, right? If you don't buy it, guess what will happen? They will have to drop the price. But if people are constantly buying what they're selling, well, why would they drop it? You know what I mean? They'll probably raise it higher, And so it is exactly this with the press. The press cannot do what it's doing if people didn't buy into what they were doing. If we just leave them alone and let them scream into the void and go into irrelevance, they would stop and they would change. But if we're constantly buying the negativity and we're clicking on their articles and we're, retweeting it and cutting, sharing it, whether you like it or not, if you're commenting on there, they don't care what you say. They don't care if you like them or don't like them. All they want to know is that you clicked on it and you commented. They don't care what your comment is, good or bad, for them or against them. As long as you commented, liked it, shared it, they don't care why you're sharing it. You engaged, and that makes them money. So they can't do what they're doing if the public didn't allow them to do. So each of us have to take responsibility for the things that we do. The articles that we read, what we like, what we don't like, what we click on, what we commenting on. I don't care if it's your outrage or not outrage. As long as you engage, you're making them money. It's just what it is. And so, yeah, it's like the press is about making money, but we as a people have to take responsibility for the fact that they make money off of us. And if we didn't engage, they couldn't make money. It's just what it is. It's a cycle. And if we break the cycle, guess what? They will go under. So we have to curb our appetites for negativity. We have to curb our appetites for, one of the reasons I will not post paparazzi photos. What it's like, why? Because I understand what the cycle of that is. There's no point for me being outraged that someone go and violate their privacy if I'm posting photos from the people who are violating their privacy. Doesn't make any sense, So we have to see our behavior is what's driving that. It's, so yeah. Let's see. Mrs. S. She says that I'm not sure what that means. Showed her hands, wish Harry had chosen her. There, that's why she spends her podcast raging on Meghan. First of all, Harry have a strong, intelligent, beautiful, feminine woman. That woman not. Okay, so I understand what you're talking about, and I am giving that woman no kind of anything on my podcast. I will not give her any kind. She's crowd chasing and she's using, and again, off of the back of black and women of color. That is what her thing is. She's done it to a lot of other black and brown women, and she's using that and using her racism against that to gain clout and make money off of that. So there you go. That is why I took no part in, even though, I saw people, there's like this whole hashtag. We'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, I was just like, no, I'm not giving her any clout. Let's see. And Lois says, Harry said he would believe and trust a squatty soldier than those who are around him at home. People are around him as a prince, but not for him as a person. I'm assuming you meant they treated him as a prince, but not as a person. Okay, I think I understand with that. Yeah. And if I were him in this situation, I'd feel the same. I would rather trust they've been in life and death battles with me. So I would, I totally trust them than anybody in that palace. So yeah. Let's see who else is chatting. Donna says, I know Spare is not about destroying anyone, but about challenges growing up, about after his mom had gone, and how he overcame to become his authentic self, still growing. This is perfectly said, Donna. Perfectly said. Which is what he said when he first announced the book. This is pretty much what he said. So obviously, again, anything in the British press, they would turn and make a negative and create fake outrage. So yeah. Joseph Bruno. Hi, Joseph. Joseph says, Harry owns his vulnerability and weaknesses instead of blaming it on his sibling or using a sibling as a distraction. Exactly. And it's so funny, him owning his vulnerabilities, for some reason, that in the UK and UK squatties, you can explain to me why that is such a negative in the UK. People are so afraid to own their weaknesses, or it's always like, oh, this person didn't put a foot wrong. Well, what will happen to the person if they put a foot wrong? It's like they literally believe that somebody walk around perfect, that they've never put a foot wrong. Like, you have to be living in fool's paradise to believe someone that, because notice that they always assign that to Kate Middleton for some reason, that she's never put a foot wrong. She's the perfect duchess. And it's just like, are you serious? But people literally believe that. And they, for some reason, think that's a good thing. It's just like, that's why I appreciated Meghan's podcast so much, about this, the toxicity about perfection, that you have to be perfect, that you, instead of being real and honest about your life. And there is this fear in the UK of not being perfect, that you have to be perfect, or as God forbid, you're royal and not perfect, And so it just, even Camilla, they're trying to assign that. It's just like, oh yeah, we know she did that thing back then, but since then she has not put a foot wrong. Oh yeah, we know that she cheated, she worked with Prince Charles and they abused Princess Diana and they cheated and all that stuff, but now she has not put a foot wrong. You know what I mean? And it's just like, are you serious? Are you looking at the same person that we're looking at? It's unreal. But let's see. Dolores says, have you ever wondered where that Nazi costume really came from? Probably from the royal family collection somewhere. I doubt it, no. But apparently they went and to a costume, bought it. Both William and Harry were there, and they purchased it, I guess, at a costume shop or something. I guess that's what I heard. I don't know. Would I be shocked if it's a part of the royal collection? No, I wouldn't at all. So yeah. But apparently it came from a costume shop. Marjorie says the Las Vegas pictures was a setup by his brother, but did they expect him to bathe in his clothes? This is the first I'm hearing that. I don't know that to be true. At least not from Harry himself, or I had never heard that. And it wasn't bathe. They were doing like some kind of strip poker or something like that with some girls that they met in Vegas, I guess. And one of the girls sold the pictures to tabloids. And it was very funny because after that came out, Harry had apologized and all of that stuff. His buddies in the army decided that they were going to support him by stripping also. So they stripped and took a photo with all of them in the buff. And Harry even talked about it. He's like, at that time I was probably more military than royal, which he's always been more military than royal anyway. Again, it was a I don't even understand what the apology was about. Whether you agree with someone playing strip poker or not, when you're in the privacy of either your home or say in a hotel room, there's a reasonable expectation of privacy. You don't have to agree with whatever someone is doing, whether it's sexual or whatever, in the privacy of their home. You don't have to agree. They are in their home or in their hotel room, whatever. There's a reasonable expectation of privacy. He doesn't have to apologize for what goes on in the privacy of the home, unless it's something illegal. Whatever. Then I don't even see what the point of that was. So yes, embarrassing, of course, I'm sure. Nobody wants to have pictures of them in the buff in tabloids, and of course. But I don't, other than that, it's like, I don't even, so it was very funny that his friends did that to support him. So, and that again is like, you got friends when you have your most embarrassing moment and they decide they're going to share that with you. Those are people I would trust. So, Ruth C says, I've been in England for over 2 decades and I've only heard of Harry's misdemeanors. William, 0, unnatural. And that's by design, Ruth, especially his misdemeanor stuff, where there are clips to this video or this documentary about I think it's called Reinventing the Royals. If you go on YouTube, you'll find it there. And it's about how the royal family made a contract, those invisible contract, with the press. When William was in school, throughout, they were at Eton, and also when he was in college, the royal family made a deal with the press to leave him alone. They did not make that deal for Harry. So that's why you see all of that stuff about Harry, some of it not even true, about Harry. They had a deal with the press to leave William alone. And so what the guy who was doing the documentary, and he interviewed like Penny Jr., he interviewed Robert Jobson and others about the same situation. And, what they were saying is William did a lot of the same things that Harry was doing. But you would not see anything of that in the press because why? That contract was there. They left him alone. They know of those things, but you will never find it in the press. You would find, and what they would do with Harry was something, say, for example, Harry went to a bar and, left the bar at 2 a.m. They would have pictures from that one event. And then they would spread those pictures out throughout the entire month and assigning those pictures onto Harry throughout the entire month. So people think that Harry is going out, say, in a bar the whole month when those pictures are from one instant. And so that's the kind of thing that they would do to Harry. And his whole life was like that. And even Prince Charles using Prince Harry, to make him look like a good father when they were claiming that Harry, Harry did drugs. And they were like, oh, yes, the press, the story came out that Harry was doing drugs and that Prince Charles, the good father, took him to a drug rehab. And then the whole thing, it was something that Mark Bolan, I think his name was, who was the press person for Prince Charles, made a deal with the press, to have a better story where they fabricate like Prince Charles taking Harry to a kind of a youth center, I guess, where they help kids who are undrugged. That Prince Charles is so concerned about his son that he took him to this place, when all of that was wrong. Like, it was such a lie. Prince Harry, he had gone to that place, but it was before this whole incident, this whole drug incident ever happened. And so it was just like they would do stuff like that. And Prince Charles was all in there to spin that whole thing to make it look like he's the good father. And so it just, I'm telling you, if Prince Harry kicked that man to the curb forever, and of course, he's his father. He's not going to do that. Probably not. But if he did that, he would have every reason to. He would have every right to do it. And again, talk about mourning. He doesn't have a father. So honestly, Black Queen says, Nazi raised Harry. At least he's atoning for his sins and is becoming a better person. Yeah, I mean, you in that environment where it's like, knowing that a lot of your relatives, were Nazi sympathizers. I mean, I don't even. And the funny part about it is to watch British people act like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe Harry would do something like that. That is unforgivable. And it's like, do you even know your history? Do you even know who the royal family are? Like, do you even know these people? And again, the Nazi costume wasn't right. It was wrong. That is very clear. I'm not making excuses for Harry wearing that costume. But what I am talking about is, if you understand the environment you would understand how just the barely out of their teens boy will feel perfectly okay to go and wear that, buy that and wear it, because that is the environment they are from. So again, it's not right, but understanding context is important. So then you don't come on Twitter or wherever and act like you're all shocked that someone, one of them, would walk around in a Nazi costume. It's ridiculous. Let's see. Kathy says, God alone knows what George, Charlotte, and Louis are soaking up from the adults around them. I'm telling you, oh goodness. And again, like I said the last time, it's why I'm happy that Harry and Meghan, one, that they left, and two, that Harry's reading this book and they're doing all this stuff, because at least it's giving them, when they get to be of age, that it gives them options, that they don't have to stay there, that they can leave. So yeah. Mad World says, yeah, Harry have a pass, but at least we can see that he owned it and started doing service that he does more than a smile and wave. Exactly. It's like he owned his stuff is all out there. We all know what and I'm sure, stuff that we probably don't know he might reveal as well, but at least he's trying, he's working his stuff through. And it's not just a pat, oh, we're going to learn more about mental health. And, yes, we all need to talk, and never really talk about anything. Then that's why William is forever incandescent with rage, because he hasn't dealt with any of this. He has not dealt with his really what's going on inside of him. So that's why he's where he is, emotionally stunted. Oh, no. What? Elaine, sorry to hear your grandson was in an accident. I'm so glad that he's oh my goodness. Elaine, I'm so sorry to hear that. Oh, I'm also really glad to hear it's okay as well. Whoa, guys, let's pray for Elaine's grandson. That's scary. Wow. Sorry about that, Elaine. Yikes. I'm telling you, life is so fragile. It's just, you just never know these things. You leave your house and it's just, unreal. Anyway, let's what else? Joanna says it perfectly. This is why the monarchy should be abolished. We don't need it. Nobody needs that. Nope. They definitely should be abolished. Donna says, "But it's the press, the UK press, that's rather than the royal family that's creating uproar about Spare. If the royal family, in the royal family, the firstborn inherits the throne and are aware of it at an early age, but may not be the smartest tool in the may not be." That's very clear. I mean, although I can't say that for Prince Charles. I'm gonna give Prince Charles this. Even if he may not have been the smartest, probably growing up, whatever, but based on all the work that he's done, and yes, he's a lousy father, granted. He has done a lot of work in whether it's his foundations, whether it's all the different things with environment. We know what we think. Yes, he's a climate hypocrite as well, but he's a very smart man. So I can't say that with this situation, but definitely the heir, Prince William, yeah, he is not a sharp tool. And it's very clear between William and Harry that Harry is miles ahead of anything William could think about. Even, what is it, today, this ridiculous article dropped about, and I deliberately didn't pull it in because I'm like, this is nonsense. Where William, apparently now they have given to the press that, oh, William is coming up with a new way of working. Him and Kate, they're going to be a new way of working. They're no longer satisfied to just go off and smile and wave and just show up, and constantly learn something. But they're going to be doing it different, where they're going to be working with the organizations, I guess, and they're going to be raising funds instead of just showing up and oh, they're not happy with how they are covered by the press and all of that stuff. But they're going to do basically what they're doing is stealing the Sussex's model for Archwell. That's what they're doing. That's all that they're doing. And there I saw a screenshot of, I'm not sure if it's the same article or whatever, but it said that because the Sussexes left, William has had to rethink the ways. It's just like, dude, just admit you have no clue, you have no substance, there's nothing there. If you have to sit here and your whole new way of approaching royal engagements is stealing your little brother's model for his foundation, that is a big clue that you have nothing going on. You have nothing. And it's embarrassing. And then trying to pass that off as, oh, we have a new way of doing, and we're going to try this model, and if it works out, and it's just like, you're just stealing Harry and Meghan's model. That's what you're doing. And trying to pass it off. And that's why Harry and Meghan, I'm sure, had to leave the Royal Foundation, because they do the work and William and Kate just ups in and steal what they're doing. I mean, it's like, it's amazing. And they've had all of this time. They've had this, like, even if you say the last 3 years as with the Sussexes, they've had the same amount of time to figure out how the model for their foundation as the Sussexes had, to create a whole brand new foundation, have a baby, have a miscarriage, have all this drama going on in their life. And yet look at what they're doing and how effective they have been. I mean, we just went through 2 episodes of why the Sussexes are the best royals, listing all of the things that they're doing, how effective and amazing and impacting they are around the world, really globally, and how many people are looking and seeing what they're working and awarding them for it. Even if you took that same amount of time with the royal foundation of Prince William and Kate and the Sussexes, you look at the impact that the Sussexes have had, and they don't get taxpayer money. Any idiot could look at that and see, like, oh my gosh, the Royal Foundation is a fraud, including their earthshot mess. There is nothing there. And I don't care how many they try to big this nonsense up. All they're doing is copying, really stealing Archwell's foundation model. That's all they're doing. And then trying to dress it up as William having such bigger. It's like, you have no substance. You have nothing going on. So it's just like, eeh. Anyway, moving on from their nonsense. Let's see a couple more. Amazing. Black Queen, I think you're it today. Why are they in Harry and Meghan's hard-earned pockets? Why don't they worry about the eternal grifting welfare king and queens and the unroyal mafia family sitting on their necks? I guess they're not exciting because, whatever the others are doing, they don't seem to be all that interested in reporting it, other than their rota that's, only focuses on whatever Kate decides to wear, which is usually something that, Meghan, as she's constantly single white femaling Meghan in some way, shape, or form. So it's unreal. Um, um let's say. Jody says, see, oh, she's talking to, I keep jumping into conversations. So let's see. Connie, hey, Connie. I'm giving you this message from Cho. She says, I did not pay attention before to know to know you had a family member who, what? Oh no. Oh my goodness. Your family member passed away. Hope I'm right. I do extend my condolences. Some days are better than some. It sure will. Oh wow. I am so sorry, Connie Bama. It's the first time I'm hearing this. I didn't realize you had a family member. Oh, again, life is so fragile. I am so sorry. My deep condolences. And you've been here. It's like, oh my gosh. We got to pray for each other, man. Life is hard. So, yeah. Thank you, Joe, just for letting us know. Wow. Anyways, okay, let's move on to what we other stuff that we have, a few other things. People's Choice Awards, guys. If you haven't voted, the link has been in the show notes. I'm going to put it again in this episode. If you have not voted for Meghan, Archetypes, that's the green circle there. Please go ahead and do that. You can do it up to 25 times a day. You can also, if you're on Twitter, you can also, there's a specific text you can quote there. I think I'm going to put it in our community page, exactly the text. You can just copy and paste it. That also counts as votes. So let's try to get Meghan to win that award. So hopefully she does. I'm telling you, I vote so many times. It's like, oh my goodness. December, I don't remember the date of this awards. I think it's December 10th or something like that. Whatever it is, I hope, hope Meghan wins. So please vote for her. Also, Spotify, today is Friday, so these chart things, and I kept forgetting to check it the last few days. So now it usually, the episode usually goes down by now, like the ratings usually goes down by now. So I caught it today. Where is that today? On the podcast chart for the US, for in the Society and Culture, which is the department that Archetype sits in the US, is number 1, and in Australia, I think does the UK have it too? Shoot, I think I forgot to bring that in. But in the US is number 1, and also in Australia it's number 3. For top podcasts in Canada, it's number 3. In the US right now, it's number 9. And again, it's 3-4 days out of the podcast. Usually closer to it, it's higher, and then it drops down. So we'll go again on Tuesday. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what the episode would be on Tuesday. I'm kind of thinking women, how they pit women against each other, like women are competitive or something like that. I'm kind of thinking maybe that could be it. I don't know. I honestly don't know. So maybe I'll do another poll in our community page. So definitely you can tell me what you think. Let's see what else. Oh, I love this. This squatty, I think she's a squatty, posted this today. And I just absolutely love this. And if you've gone on the Archwell website, you'll see all of this. And so Best of Harry and M, or Mary and Meg, that's the Twitter account that posted this. And I was like, oh, this is so good. She says, oh, excuse me. I'm so sorry. I just did a burp. I apologize. That came out of nowhere. It says titles about women on Meghan's photos on Archwell website. It says power of women, investing in women, advocating for moms, uplifting women, and women life freedom. And I was just like, wow, this is so cool. I absolutely love that. And so yeah, again, if you go on the website, you'll see all of these the different things that Meghan doing with women. And I love that, you put them all together and you're like, yep. There was a reporter who was claiming like she can't figure out, her thing is like, oh, I wish Meghan would focus on something. I wish she would have a passion, something that that she can champion. And I'm like, where have you been? Where have you, like, did you just arrive here from Mars or something? Were you up there with a bag over your head and just have no clue that there's something called an Earth? I mean, this is what she's been doing since she was like 13 years old and younger. You know, it's like if you somehow miss, and you call yourself a reporter and miss what Meghan is about, you literally should not. You literally should not be a reporter at all. And it's just I don't know how you could say that, that you are a journalist, which is what they love to say, that, oh, I'm a journalist. It's like, and you could say you wish that Meghan would find something to focus on. Like, were you blind, deaf, dumb? I mean, like, not, I don't want to say dumb. That's just, no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to use that word, but literally, you have no clue, basically. So, yeah. Anyway, but I just really, really, really love this. I was like, oh, that picture is awesome. So thank you, Best of Harry and for posting this. And changing gears a little bit, BetterUp, Alex Robichaud he was featured in Forbes, and they wrote a little blurb about it, and BetterUp alerted us to it. We are so proud to see our CEO, Alex Robichaud, at Forbes for Future of Work 50 list. This is a collective of leaders, thought leaders, and teams who are shaping the future of work. We are humbled to be in such great company. And this is the blurb that is on Forbes magazine. It says, Alex Robichaud, BetterUp co-founder and CEO. If you're looking to become a better leader, getting advice from Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, and Adam Grant isn't a bad way to go. These are two of the high wattage names Robichaud has recruited to lend expertise to BetterUp, a platform that aims to bring executive coaching to the masses. To lead at scale, you have to manage your own psychology, said Robichaud. This is a two-person job in my experience. Launched in 2013, it is now claimed to be the world's largest virtual coaching network, offering support in 64 languages. Business is one of only endeavor. Business is one of the only endeavors of elite performance where we feel that we can have a go. Where we can, business is one of the only endeavors of elite performance where we feel that we have to go it alone, said Robichaud. And so, yeah, of course, it's like, if you're looking for great advice, Prince Harry and Adam Grant isn't a bad way to go. And we've seen all the great work that Harry and all the ways that he has been able to help BetterUp to grow. Again, it's one of the largest. And he has advised them on European markets. They also give free training, free coaching to Invictus, the men and women, the soldiers, the veterans from Invictus. They also give free coaching to, even though Harry and Meghan are no longer with the Queen's Commonwealth Trust, they also offer free coaching to the young people that are a part of the Queen's Commonwealth Trust. All of it because of their relationship with Harry. So many people are benefiting from BetterUp because of their relationship with Harry. So kudos to them. Kudos to BetterUp for being a part of this list. So yeah. And let's see. So this happened. I saw this yesterday for the first time, and I didn't even have a chance to tell you guys about it. The squad decided that they were going to buy these benches on the left for the park in Uvalde, Texas. And so yesterday I saw a fundraiser. They were looking to raise $4,000 to get these benches, and I don't even remember how many benches they were getting for that park that Archwell and that they teamed up with the city of Uvalde and what's the name of the organization? All of a sudden I've lost the name of the organization that they teamed up with to build the park for the community in Uvalde. And so the squad, ever the giving charitable organization, but charitable supporters, I should say we are, decided that, oh, well, let's see, raise funds to get benches for the park. And so again, I saw this yesterday and I was like, okay. And I'm like, and I thought, okay, maybe I'll bring it in here. I know we just ended a fundraiser recently, but in case anybody wants to donate. And so this happened yesterday, at least that's when I saw it. And then all of a sudden today, they've raised the money already. It was supposed to be 4,000. They raised $4,471 for the benches. So they've got all the money. You cannot donate anymore because they've already raised it. And then, today I saw special thanks to all, Joe Diva, Gail, Sandra Blunt, Dargan, HMALD Prayers, Hans Corp for helping to make the benches for Uvalde Community Fundraiser a success. And to Harry and Meghan, global supporters, Sussex Squad, each act of kindness has a ripple effect. Thank you for donating over $4,000 to the squad gift of benches to Uvalde. So they've got their benches covered. Because of the squad. I didn't even have a minute to participate. Again, by the time I saw it, the fundraiser was over. And again, Sussex Squad in our greatness, in amazing community that we have to just jump in and help. And so kudos if you were a part of it, if you knew about it and gave, and if you're one of the 109 people who donated, thank you very much for getting these benches to the community in Uvalde. And again, this is how Harry and Meghan, this is how impacting they are. They inspire people to give and, and really take care of communities. And it was just so amazing to see that. So it just, I'm amazed. The squad is always just so amazing to me. And finally, again, go back. One of the things that has been trending for the last 2 days is Meghan's husband. And, most of us know why that's been trending because of some racist person who I will not name being upset that Meghan refers to or calls her husband. Meanwhile, this racist person has been calling her husband on Twitter all the time. So it's not because Meghan is calling Harry husband. It's because she is a racist, and racist people always try to find reasons other than the fact that they are racist to attack a black person. It's just what it is, or a person of color. They're always like, oh no, it's not because of their color. It's because they're pick a reason. For this racist person was like, oh, it's because she's calling her husband her husband. Meanwhile, racist person has been calling her own husband a husband on Twitter. There's lots of evidence of her calling her husband. So again, it's not that. It's because she is racist. And make no mistake, that is the reason. They always come up, oh, no, it's not the color of the skin. Oh, no. It is the color of the skin. You're racist and jealous on top of it. Because how dare a person with black blood marry someone and have the status you don't have? So anyways, so that is that. And so this Meghan's husband has been trending. And I thought, well, okay, I'm not getting involved in tweeting about Meghan's husband, but I can admire the beautiful pictures they've reminded us of. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot these pictures were there. And so people have been posting this and tagging, hashtagging Meghan's husband with all these wonderful pictures of Harry and Meghan. I was like, oh, well, I forgot some of these. So I was just like, well, why don't I share that with everyone? So just in case you forgot these beautiful pictures of Harry and Meghan, why don't we just, sorry, Church Nelly, no Nacho, just Harry. But I love it. I was like, oh, well, something good came out of this. People who may not have been paying attention to how wonderful these two are, there you go. They have loads of pictures from all over. And again, this every time I look, I mean, you can see 19,000 tweets with hashtag Meghan's husband. So there you go. Maybe there are new fans coming like, ooh, these two are awesome. And I love the picture of Meghan and Harry at the bottom, right? And that's how I imagine them seeing this whole mess under a tree, just laughing at this whole mess because, again, it is ridiculous. So, anyways, let's jump into chat. No church Nelly. No. No Nacho. Let's see. Audrey says, but that's her husband, and she's entitled to refer to him in any enduring way he wishes. Again, it's stupid. That's the thing. Is just it's just like, and I think the most ridiculous part is that people are literally on Twitter, like some people arguing about this. It's like, this is the stupidest thing I've ever seen in my entire life, But nobody's going after Harry, who always says my wife. And again, jealousy and racism is what it is. Ray Cal says, I think it takes less words just to admit they're racist. I'm telling you. Period. Exactly, Ray Cal. Just say it. I'm racist. I don't like you because you're black. Because you have, maybe you're light skinned and, you're biracial, but you who have black blood, just be honest. You're not fooling anybody. So let's see. Oh, Lydia says, coming on her 5-year anniversary with her husband. Hello, her husband. And for those of you who are angry that this woman with black blood have a white husband who is a prince, I really love the fact that you're sitting there crying in your coffee right now. You stay there and be jealous. This is me being petty. Shebers, I don't know who Shebers is. Oh, okay. Husband should be offended that she's lusting after Harry. Female bloviator Morgan. Oh, I see. I mean, it's kind of like, it is be kind of weird. It's like to be married to somebody who is completely, openly just they can't seem to live without lusting over somebody else's husband. And a lot of it, that is to the title. They want that title. A lot of them grew up with these fairy tale, and I guess imagined themselves as being the princess. And now they're living lives where they're not. And they're jealous the fact that somebody with black blood have what especially that one, it's supposed to be this blonde person, this beautiful blonde with blue eyes. That's the person that's supposed to be princess, not somebody with black blood and a feminist at that, and an American on top of that, Yes. All of their childhood fantasies have been dashed. Beaton Powell says, that's her husband. These people are quite mad, I think, and racist on top of that, too. Barbara says, the benches for Uvalde Park was awesome. The Sussex squad rocks. I'm telling you, couldn't say that better myself. It's awesome. And again, before I even had a chance to participate, it was over. It was like, I didn't even have a chance to participate. I didn't even have a chance to talk about it. And it was over. So that's how the squad, I'm telling you, just jump on things. Let's see. Oh, Big thank you so much for your super sticker. Thank you for always supporting. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Black Queen, again, you're it. I hope President Biden gives goodwill ambassadorship to the Sussexes to maybe Africa and the Caribbean. Interesting. Not sure. I think they probably want to stay here for a bit. Who knows? They love both, so who knows? And again, some people, including here, like, I don't want Meghan to be anywhere close to politics. Who knows? um, Oh, thank you. Kaboom. Kaboom is the name of the place. The Sussexes teamed up with Kaboom. Thank you, Nalissa. That's the organization that they and along with the city of Uvalde that teamed up to get the to do the park in Uvalde for the community. So that's where the benches are going. Thank you so much, Kaboom. I had never heard of Kaboom before this. I'm telling you, Harry and Meghan has introduced me, and I don't know if you guys all feel the same way, to organizations and places and people that I'd never heard before. Kaboom is one of those. I'd never heard of these things, communities or people or organizations before in my entire life. And it's just like, wow, this is great. So yeah. So thank you, Nissa. I appreciate it. Let's see. Dolores says, yeah, oh, she's talking to Joyce. Yes, Omid said that it said it, and that's what I read, the docuseries before the book. Oh, I think I forgot to talk about that, or maybe I just brushed over it. That, yeah, part of that article that I just read is it says that the Harry and Meghan's docuseries will be coming out a month before the book. So sometime around December 10th, because the book is coming out January 10th, sometime around December 10th, the Sussexes docu-series that Netflix never did confirm, according to them, but this is according to what Scobie says, that is supposed to be coming out. So I guess we have the Archetypes is going to end at the end of November. So that's going to end at what is it, the last Tuesday, whatever the date, the last Tuesday in November is, and then I guess a week or 10 days or so later, we're gonna get the Sussex docuseries. So we're gonna have a whole holiday season of Sussexes. So we are being, prepared to be fed. You think of the other royals like, we're just trying to get you to like us. We're just trying to get some publicity. Will they not stop so somebody could notice us? Sorry, Kensington Palace and Buckingham or wherever Prince Charles lives. Y'all are not seeing, yeah, you're not going to be seeing, I guess, the front pages of new magazines anytime soon. So it's like a Sussex holiday season. So we are looking forward to it. So whatever it is that they're going to be doing with that docuseries. So yeah. Oh, you're welcome, Raquel. I mean, it was wonderful news. I'm assuming you're talking about the squaddies and the benches for Uvalde. And it's amazing. And I absolutely love it. It did my heart good to see that. I mean, the squad is amazing. We are a part of something really, really, really amazing. So yeah. Alma Anju says, Pedal the Royals are from German descent. That's right. Yeah, the Sax go what is this? I always get it wrong. Sax Coburg Gotha. I think that's their last name. They're definitely German. I mean, even they've kept up their German traditions, even how they celebrate Christmas. They do it German style. So yeah, Princess Diana was the only true English person in that monarchy. Isn't that funny? It's wild. Yep. The Windsors are definitely German, and they changed their names because they didn't want to people to be like, oh, wait a minute, that's a German name, I'm going to attach you to Hitler. They didn't want that, so they changed it to Windsor. So yeah, and people forget that, or some people seem not to know that. Joy says, did Omid state that Harry and Meghan's docuseries was going to drop before the book? I will have to go back and read that article. He did, actually. It was part of what I read. Let's see. Let's go back to Omid's article and we'll see. Let's see. Let's take you out there, Joan. At the bottom, the very last paragraph on the bottom, it says, a spokesman for the book, which will be released 1 month after the Sussex's forthcoming Netflix docuseries drops. So that's what Scobie says. That it's the docu-series will be released. And again, that's the last clip at the bottom that's highlighted. It says the docu-series is going to be released 1 month before the book. Yep, that's what the article says. And again, I'm going to put a link in the show notes so you can actually go read the whole article. It's really very good. And at the end of the article, Omid makes a point like, look, for a nation of people who screams about freedom of speech, especially the right-wing British press, who's screaming nonstop about, oh, the left is trying to shut us up. They're trying to take away our freedom of speech. These are the same people screaming that Harry should not exercise his own freedom of speech and write a book. It's just like it makes no sense. They only advocate for freedom of speech when it has to do with them. But when somebody else exercises their freedom of speech, oh, no, we need to shut them up. They're attacking the royal family. They're attacking us. It's nonsense. It's absolutely, absolutely nonsense. So, yeah. But let's see a couple more people before we end. Let's see. Lavertha says, I wish Meghan would have Melody Hobson on to discuss women and finances, savings, investments, budgeting. Well, as long as it has to do with an archetype, so because it's all about archetypes. So if there's a topic that has to do with, I'm sure, Melody is one of her mentors, as she said when they did that, interview thing they did. So yeah, I mean, if there's something that has to do with archetypes that holds women back, then yeah, why not? I'd love to see that. Let's see, one more before we end. And thank you, Lydia Washington. Thank you to all who have joined. If you have not already, please hit the like button. Thank you. And I'm going to put this back there. Yes, thank you so much, Lydia, for reminding me, because I tend to always forget to put it back there. But thank you guys so much. Again, as Lydia says, please hit, first subscribe also if you haven't already. Thank you so much if you have. And if you haven't, click that like, click the notification bell so that you know when we drop a video. Also you can share, because we're trying to grow our community. That would be most appreciated. I really, 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 really appreciate that. If you would share this with your friends and family, especially, so that they can become part of us as well. And you can also join our community. You can hit the join button at the bottom of your video, and where you support the channel monthly. So I really, really, really appreciate that. But thank you all guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, who just reminded us to do that. Church Nelly, Karen M, Julie Rockish, who I didn't see, but she's part of us. Cookies and Cream, thank you guys so much for keeping this space wonderful, free of any trolls, and really keeping it a really nice, safe space that we can chat on the daily or whenever I'm on. So thank you guys so much. I tell you, you do an amazing job out of the kindness of your heart. And thank you so much to our amazing Two Cents Crew members. I appreciate so much that I'm going to take off this banner so that way you can see everybody. There we go. Thank you so much. It looks like Karen M, you are hidden up there, and so I have to revise this. But I appreciate all of you so much for your support, your monthly support for the channel. It helps me to do the thing that I'm doing. And so I appreciate your support. And to all of you, our Gold Star supporters who support the channel, whether it's, again, here, whether it's super thanks, super stickers, super chat, also merchandise. You also support us via PayPal, Cash App, all of it. Thank you all so much. I appreciate you and everything that you have done, and the fact that you take time out of your day, honestly, to come and hang out with me. I am like so lucky and so grateful. So I cannot tell you how much I appreciate it. So I love you guys, and we're gonna end this with a little bit of music again. Hope it's not too loud. I am flying blind or deaf, really, again, because I cannot hear it because my tech issues. And so we're gonna end this. Have a fantastic day. I may join you at Darren's or the Duchess of Success at some point today. So I will talk to you then, and I will see you next time. Bye, everyone. Have a fantastic rest of your Friday, and I'll see you next time. I love you all. Bye.